Hey, welcome back to the Retrostation, and you're watching Staff Picks. I'm Dan, your host and reviewer of great hidden movies out there of the 80s, 90s, 70s, and beyond. I call these movies hidden sandwiches. Not hidden gems, because hidden gems ain't worth a shit. You ever try to fence a hidden gem or get rid of a hidden anything? No, you never did. So what good is a hidden gem if you can't actually use it? Everyone can use a damn sandwich. That's why my picks are called hidden sandwiches. All right, so we got ourselves a meaty, especially cheesy hidden sandwich this time, folks. We're wrapping up my Empire / Full Moon Pictures and Charlie Band trilogy / quadrilogy. Although, if we're being fair, I didn't really review Vicious Lips because I don't know what the hell Michigan was going on in that freaking movie. If you can figure it out, you give me a plot synopsis in the comments below, and I will give you a no prize, which is that desktop tchotchke of Mario and Donkey Kong. Today we're going to be talking about another one of my favorite flicks, and series of flicks starring Tim Thomerson. You may know him as Mitch Buchanan's wayward brother on Baywatch, but I know him as Jack Death, police trooper, and hunter and killer of the zombie cultists known as Trancers. Trancers was directed by Charlie Band in 1984. It's a twofer, with Danny Bilson and Paul DeMeo writing the script, and edited by Ted Nicolau, he of Subspecies fame. Band's signature production and direction this time didn't just feature Tim Thomerson, that's a character actor extraordinaire in my opinion, but also Helen Hunt in her first feature role, Richard Hurd, and the bad guy is played by a wonderful character actor, Michael Stefani, as Martin Whistler, a criminal mastermind and leader of the Trancers cult. Again, just like every Charles Band feature, we got gourmet acting and a fast food rapper, a true hidden sandwich of the 80s. The plot's what I like to call a sideways noir. You got narration from Jack Death at the very beginning. The character's very much a hard-boiled police trooper. Now, Jack Death, he has one job. And that's to hunt down, basically, the remnants of this cult called Trancers. They followed a man, Martin Whistler, who he basically destroyed. Singed is the word he uses in the movie, out in the Outer Rim, prior to the beginning of the flick. Now, Martin Whistler uses his psychic powers to turn his followers into Trancers, these weird, zombied out, cannibalistic killers, basically, to carry out his orders. Mostly his orders are, hey, see that guy? Kill that guy. Death's got a wristband scanner to identify Trancers, and Jack does his job great. He terminates Trancers with extreme prejudice, which is the proper option because Trancers are fucked up killers. I love the effects in this flick because it's what you can do with a limited budget is amazing if you really try hard. And the director of photography in this flick does an amazing job of positioning the camera, adding lighting and intermediary smoke effects to make it look futuristic, even though they didn't have basically a big budget, you know what I mean? And in the future, the shoulder pads are truly mighty indeed. And also, take a look at Jack's future Edsel, man. You put a bunch of lights and tubes, and boom, future car. Blink and you'll miss it. It also looks like they have a background car from Blade Runner in there. I should send a question along to Empire, Full Moon Features now, and ask about that. Anyway, Death is taking a break from kicking ass and taking names and being a badass and shoving those names up Trancer asses to have a cup of real coffee at Mom's Number 3. A sweet little diner with a horrible secret. And that secret is, well, I won't ruin it for you, but you got to check the movie out. On the surface, this movie has a lot of low-cost special effects, like Death's future Edsel, the sunken city of Los Angeles, which is essentially a really neat matte painting. But once you watch it on Blu-ray, you're going to see some of the flaws and lines in that kind of effect. And the council's headquarters, I mean, goddamn, it's HO scale bureaucracy, folks. Look at that. It's basically a model of a model UN, apparently. And take a look at that. Shoulder pads under shoulder pads. It's shoulder padception, folks. The reason I do staff picks is to share movies I like with all of you fine folks, but I also do it to help folks see flicks I like with the same eyes that I see them. So understand, when I say stay retro, that's a philosophy of life for me. I love old movies. I love retro stuff. But when you look at Trancers, and any movie that I'm suggesting here, but especially this movie, definitely appreciate that these low-rent effects, models, and ragtag version of the future they could put on display for the amount of money they had. don't just see that, but for a second, see it the way they would have made it had they had the kind of money Hollywood wastes on original shit these days. If anything, Charles Band is an original, a 100% American original, and just one of my favorite directors and writers and creators out there. Anyway, back to the story. Death gets attacked by that buck wild ass Trancer in the Mom's Number 3 and takes care of him. But it's not that simple, folks, because when he does this, his boss gets in his face and Death tells him to shove the job and his badge up his ass. But while scavenging Los Angeles, the flooded wreckage of Los Angeles, for what appear to be car parts for his rad future car, he's told that Whistler isn't dead, as he thought, because he said he singed him, but has fled to the past to go back and kill the council members' ancestors off to eliminate them in the future. Gee, sounds like the plot of a movie from the 80s that I recall. Does anyone remember that movie? Kind of had a kick-ass soundtrack that was like, dun 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 dun. Now, I'm not suggesting that the Terminator bit off of Trancers. However, they both came out in 84. Terminator came out in October. And I don't know, maybe that was just part of the zeitgeist going back into the past and wiping people out. Anyway, something to think about. So Jack Death is sent to the past into the body of his ancestor, Phil Deathton, where he wakes up to find that he had a one-night stand with Helen Hunt as Lena, one of Santa's little helpers at the mall, where they apparently had ethereal soul sex or some stuff. And we move on from there. Lena helps Jack Death with his investigation into Whistler, and Death continues going after the guy. The rest of the movie is your typical cop flick, with one great twist. In the past, Whistler now occupies the body of a police detective. So let's go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, Jack Death is a badass. There's a scene in the punk rock club that you gotta see to believe. Helen Hunt as Lena, her first role, and man, she is a bona fide professional. You got Whistler's creepy performance and the far out story that's done in only the way Charlie Band can do it. All right, so it's 4 stars. Check this movie out as soon as you can. And let me tell you, it's a great series of flicks too. All right, let me break it down for you. There's 7 Trancers features overall. 5 of them are Tim Thomerson Jack Death movies. And since Tim Thomerson's in the 70s, the 6th movie features a lady as Jack Death. I believe it's his daughter. He's in his daughter's body at that point, which is in the Trancers universe, but without Tim Thomerson, I don't know. I wasn't enthusiastic to check it out. Maybe I'll check it out and review it later on. But let me tell you, if you like this one, check out the rest of these flicks. Jack Death goes from the past to the future, facing off with hippies and the military and vampires, for crying out loud. All right, the series is about 3.5 stars out of 4 overall, but still very entertaining. And Helen Hunt, I got to tell you, she comes back for 2 of the 5 Tim Thomerson flicks, and she gives it her professional best each and every time. She takes the material seriously. She doesn't half-ass a damn thing. You know, so, I mean, that almost pushes the whole thing to 4 stars, in my opinion. But that's going to do it for this week, folks. That's your staff pick. And remember, no matter what you've ever heard out of me about movies, blathering on, talking about sandwiches and hidden gems and all that shit, always remember to stay retro. Peace.
Throwing out a hissy fit, your views ain't in the millions, and every up and comer is a threat to what you're dealing. And instead of getting better, you just spout up on your Facebook, crying on your Twitter bit about how bad your case look. In case you didn't get it yet, allow me to rephrase it. Your grandma than my 4-year-old, I'm actually amazed. Like you couldn't even see the forest for the trees. The writing's on the wall.